tell you the truth, like historically, I've always told people don't keep your card on you. Yes, legally, you're required to keep your card on you, but it's not really enforced. Hey guys, so there was this recent news story for this 60-year-old permanent resident out of Chicago who got fined $130 for not having his permanent resident card on him. And from my understanding, he was basically, he was out on the street, he encountered ICE officers, they asked him, do you have your papers? And he said, not on me, they're at home. And so they temporarily detained him, put him in the car, and within a couple hours, they were able to verify his identity, and then they released him with a $130 citation for not keeping his permanent resident card on him. I will tell you the truth, like historically, I've always told people don't keep your card on you. Yes, legally, you're required to keep your card on you, but it's not really enforced. And I've never seen anyone actually get a ticket or citation for it. And if you lose your card, replacing it is gonna cost like $415, I think is the price today in October 2025. That's probably gonna go up, by the way. And it can take up to a year to get your new physical card. And during that year, it's gonna be a pain to travel internationally. If you change jobs and need to prove you're a permanent resident, or you need to update your driver's license or government IDs or whatever, you need that physical card, so keep it in a safe place and keep a photocopy with you. But now that's no longer the case. Like as of this article, I now know that in some rare instances, ICE will actually issue citations for not having the physical card on you. You know, the guy in this article actually said he had previously lost his card a couple times. So replacing it would cost $415, paying the fine is $130. Anyway, now I'm telling people to keep your physical card on you. That's my official legal advice. You know, whether or not I would keep the card on me is another question, but officially, I'm telling people to keep the physical permanent resident card on them, because if you encounter ICE out on the street and you don't have the physical card on you, at the very least, you could get hassled for a couple hours until they verify who you are. Now, just a quick point I want to clarify. Whether or not you have a card on you does not change whether or not you are a permanent resident. In fact, even if your card expires or you lose it, you're still a permanent resident. There are two ways you can lose your permanent residence. One is if you voluntarily abandon it by signing Form I-407. And two is if an immigration judge orders you deported from the United States. Under the Immigration and Nationality Act, you will remain a permanent resident until one of those two things happen. Now, some people might say like, yeah, but what about if you fail to file the I-751 to remove the conditions on your green card after you marry a US citizen? That's an interesting point. So USCIS, one of the sub-agencies of the Department of Homeland Security, will take the incorrect position that your permanent residence is terminated. But what they're actually supposed to do after that is refer your case to an immigration judge, for the judge to actually determine whether or not you're still a permanent resident or whether you should be ordered removed from the United States. If the judge determines that you're not a permanent resident, you will be ordered removed typically. And that's when your permanent residence will officially end under the Immigration and Nationality Act. Just one quick story and then I promise I'll end this video. I had a client who lost her green card in like 2005, like literally 20 years ago. And sometime last year, she came into my office and she married a new US citizen. You know, her prior spouse died. That's how she had gotten her green card originally. And she was in my office to apply for adjustment of status through her new US citizen spouse. And I realized you're still a permanent resident. You thought that you were out of status for the last 20 years, but you've been a permanent resident this entire time. So I filed an I-90 to renew the green card, and it arrived a few months later, and she was in absolute tears because she thought that she was unlawfully present in the US for the last 20 years. So anyway, guys, that story is just to reiterate, the card is not your status. If you lose the card, if it expires, you're still a permanent resident with the minor caveat of if the 2-year card expires, you still need to properly remove the conditions on your green card. But if your 10-year green card expires, you're still a permanent resident. You just need to file the I-90. But of course, you could be subject to penalties and fines if you don't have the physical card on you now. All right, guys, that's the end of today's video. If you want to stay up to date on immigration policies and what's actually happening on the ground, be sure to subscribe to my channel. My name is Puyan Darian. I'm an immigration attorney and I handle green card, citizenship, and deportation defense cases nationwide. So if you yourself or someone you know needs assistance with an immigration matter, be sure to schedule a consultation directly with me. You can find the scheduling link in the video description below, or you can go to darianlaw.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for another video.